Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into my spoiler review for Across the Spider-Verse. We're gonna go like we normally do, talk non-spoilers, spoilers, and then Lego talk, and they're just missing. They're just missing out again. I really don't understand it. It's insane to me, and again we'll talk about it. But non-spoilers, what a movie! I really just the trailers did not give away the plot of this at all. Like, it's incredible. Like, there's just so many surprises in this movie. It is just it feels long, but it also feels like a breeze. It's one of the longest animated movies that I've ever seen, and it's just insane how much they get done in this movie, how much it is connected and picks up from the first one. Like, it's the story of this and how it's connected, and they've created this intricate web of tying the story together here and all these worlds. It's beautiful, both the storytelling, the performances, but also the visuals of this. As usual, it's gorgeous. Probably the most beautiful animated movie I've ever seen. Like, the art style here in some of the worlds, it's just so breathtaking. Like, it really just, I don't know. Like, it definitely the best movie I've seen this year for sure. But I want to jump in here and talk about spoilers here. So first things first, I want to say is that post COVID, I have not seen a movie theater this packed before. I usually go in the afternoon, and it was packed. And then I went to change the time because I wasn't gonna go that early. I wanted to go a little later at night. Everything was sold out except for all the seats where you can just crink your neck and have it, broken sitting up at the front. But my point with this is that I haven't seen this much of a hype around a movie since before COVID. All this to lead up to what I want to talk about first, which is when the movie ended. Because, going in, I knew it was, they've talked about it. It's like Empire Strikes Back. It ends on a cliffhanger. It's going to leave people questioning and worried, etc., etc. We know that part two is coming out. It was originally called part two, but now it's Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that's coming out in March of 2024. So obviously knew that going in. There was a lot of moments in this where I was expecting and waiting for, oh, is this one? Oh, is this one? And it just kept going and going and going, which was great. But when it ended, I have never, ever heard this hum across the entire theater, this buzzing of chatter, this audible gasps as, wait, like, just confusion and surprise that that's how it's ending. People had absolutely no clue. And then, of course, as the mid-credits end, it says that Miles Morales will return, and then it says in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and the logo popped up there. And then again, the chattering and the humming and all the shocked conversations and everything was happening. Never. Infinity War, people were silent. It was, everyone died. It was dark. We all knew, I think, obviously, Endgame was coming. With this, though, it's different. We don't know the future of these characters. And so many people in that theater had no clue that this is part one of part two. That is a testament to the story being told here, that they were just so immersed in it, that they love the characters, that they also didn't realize the time, that it was 2 hours and 20 minutes long, because I literally, as people were leaving, I heard them say, oh, that was 2 hours. Like, they had no clue. In some ways it doesn't feel like it. I feel like some parts you will feel it. Like, I think when we see the actual title card of Across the Spider-Verse, it's like, what, 10-15 minutes of spending time with Gwen. But anyways, all that to say that I haven't seen a movie reaction like this since, like, not cheering and woo, like Endgame and No Way Home of all that. This was a completely different vibe. So memorable. And I want to talk about as well that I said before of how well this was connected to the first one. Like, it feels like a direct sequel. They're picking up so many things. And my favorite thing was how they brought Spot into this and made him the villain. connecting him to the first film with Alchemix. But then the fact that he's the guy that Miles throws the bagel at blew my mind. And I laughed out loud. I think I was one of two people in, again, a packed theater that understood that reference to the first film. Amazing. Really, really great. And just how they kept going with that, right? They just were like, all right, well, that spider, that was from a different universe. That's from the, the number 42, whatever. And then how they were bringing in all these different things. They were like, okay, so that spider from the first one, it was Spot that brought it in, very much, they've done this before, but this is probably the most recent reference that I've got in my mind because I watched it. But with Keaton, Batman, where Jack Nicholson's Joker kills his parents and then Batman creates the Joker. So here it's Spot, brings in the spider, bites Miles, and then in return it creates Spot. So that's really, really crazy. And then as well, how they were talking about they messed with the canon. And at first, when I heard that, I really thought I was imagining that they said that. I was like, what? It was really hard to hear. And I've seen this complaint, by the way, across the internet. See the across bit. But anyways, that the sounds were off in their theaters. It was so quiet, especially at the start. I have no clue what Gwen was saying. People were shuffling into the theater late. I have zero clue. And it's just an issue that I think they're addressing, that the theaters need to be playing it at a little bit louder. But my point with the sound is, I want to say one other thing with the sound. I don't speak Spanish. I know very little Spanish. I'm Canadian, right? Second language here is French, not Spanish. Took some Spanish classes. Knew bare minimum. But there's so much Spanish in this that's not translated. Not a fan of that. One of the only gripes that I have with this movie. Anyways, I was talking about the sound because of when they were saying canon, don't mess with the canon. I was like, is that actually what they said? Like, a lot of people don't know what that means. So that's pretty crazy on its own. But yeah, that was very surprising that I guess that spider being brought into that universe messed with the canon, where Miles shouldn't have been bit by that spider. So that universe is missing a spider, of course, that we see later on. And then, it should have been that Peter Parker, played by Chris Pine in the first one, that should have saved the universe and stopped Kingpin if he didn't have to save Miles. All these different layers to connecting it to that first one. I thought they did such an incredible job. I want to talk about the cameos and the different surprises and different worlds that we visited. First one, obviously, we'll talk about is the Lego one. I wish we did not know that was a thing and that they didn't talk about that on the press tour. Like, that would have been such a huge surprise. And there was no avoiding it. Like, there's certain things, cameos and different things that people say. Obviously, you can go around avoiding that. But everyone in the Lego community was reposting those quotes. And it's just like, oh, I wish that Jake Johnson hadn't said that, and it would have been an amazing surprise. But if you didn't know, the people behind the first Into Spider-Verse and this now and the next one, they were the same people that were the directors of the Lego movie. So it makes so much sense. And I'm so curious about the timeline here of events, because I've read online through different Discord servers that I'm a part of, that the 14-year-old kid who made these incredible trailers, recreating them in Lego form, that's the person who animated those scenes, the little bits that we saw of the Bugle and Peter and all that. Like, that's really crazy, using the same site that we've rendered Shrek with and different things like that. So it's awesome, like really awesome. And I wonder if they recreated the first trailer, and then, because we know for a fact the directors of the Lego movie saw that, and they were like, okay, what if we could squeeze this in? Go to Lego, ask them, and then they go back to the kid here, 14 years old. I think they're 15 now, and ask them to do this scene. I think, like, I really, it has to be that way. It has to be. They saw the trailer first, and then they did this, and they just posted the second one as well, which is just amazing. Hopefully, in the next one, we get more Lego stuff, because that was just remarkable. But the cameo that shocked me the most was Donald Glover's Prowler. That, like, that's insane to me. That must have been what it would feel like to watch, you know, Solo and Maul turn up and different things like that. That over the years, all these cameos and different things. Like I've been spoiled stuff for Flash, and I haven't even seen it yet. Like all these different things like that. That's insane. That they took something that people have been complaining about, him and Scorpion from Homecoming not being used after all these years. They grabbed him, put him in a Prowler outfit as well. Just as huge as Donald Glover is, that he came in and did this scene for this movie in live action blew my mind. Seeing the Insomniac Spider-Man was great. I have to mention this because I know I'll get comments. Yes, Spectacular Spider-Man was there. Never watched the show. I tried. I don't like the style. Can't get past that. And I remember when they were in the posters and a lot of people were like, ah ha ha, you're expecting him to have lines and different things. Well, joke's on those people because he had lines, which was pretty great. Same with the Insomniac Spider-Man. So getting all these different versions, seeing the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire ones, that was pretty crazy too. It's remarkable what they're doing there. It's crazy that this is all being produced and run by the same people that are giving us Venom and Morbius. I'm also just, while we're on the Sony talk here, I'm so curious about how this is going to connect to the Madam Web movie. Like if there's going to be any connections there. Maybe the next one will set that up, probably, if I had to guess as well. It's crazy. This is just leaps and bounds better, by the way, than Multiverse of Madness. Just in terms of a multiversal movie, just blew it out of the water, which isn't saying much personally. But anyways, let's talk about this actual movie, right? The story, the intro with Gwen. I said before, like that whole bit on her world, most beautiful world, by the way. The paint and everything moving, and just it's incredible. Really love that. But seeing her story, hearing, what her history is and where she's at on her Earth, really, really great. And then also jumping into Miles and his relationship with his parents and pretending, giving advice to his dad through Spider-Man. It was just so great to see. They do such a good job of making you feel for these characters and the relationships that they have. It's just incredible. I really like the moments with Peter B. Parker. I wish we got more of him, but talking about with Mayday and just how it's all because of Miles, and hearing him talk about, hoping that his kid turns out the same way that Miles does. It's just even a sliver of that, and just their relationship's really great, and Gwen as well. And I have questions about this multiverse because, Genshi was playing the Spider-Man PS4, PS5 game, which I guess in that universe, I'm going to assume Miles doesn't exist as a side mission in that world or in that game. But then even things with, why is there no other Spider-Gwen variants or other Miles variants? Because, they are Spider people, right? So they should be a part of this secret society. I think we should have seen some variants of them there and explain why this, that to me would have maybe hit home more a bit about why this Miles can't be a part of it, because he's an aberration. He wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man. I think that's really interesting. But yeah, I don't know how much more I have to say about this. I just enjoyed going around to the different worlds, getting all these different reveals of why he can't be a part of the team, and then trying to save his dad and different things like that. The lore and the canonity of the different Spider-Man. I guess having a captain die is now a part of this Spider-Man lore, which I don't know. I look out to whoever the captain is in the Tom Holland quadrology. But anyways, the ending, wow, really great. The different cuts between the different Earths and the reveals of that Miles is stranded on this other one, I think was just really, really cool. And having him reveal to not his mom, but his mom, that he's Spider-Man, and just the reveals there, the music that was playing, and for that alone, just best movie I've seen in the year. Loved the ending with them gathering all of her friends to create a band of people to go save Miles. Really great, really sweet to see. And specifically, Spider-Man Noir. Love Nicolas Cage. Really sad he wasn't here at all. And Spider-Ham as well. He said they were, he was remembering stuff from the first movie, but we never really saw him in this. And I think that's sad. But we saw Mysterio, so that was kind of crazy. But boy, what a film. Lego Talk. Lego, what are you doing? Like, wake up. Wake up with the Sony stuff. You're sleeping on it. We talk about this all the time about how they're missing out on stuff. But here, Lego's in this. Like, they would have had to go to Lego to get permission to do this. I would have loved to hear how that conversation went of, are you guys going to create any products for the film? Yeah, we're good. We're making $500 Hulkbusters. Oh, cool. Nothing for Spider-Verse, though. The first one won an Oscar and was really beloved. And we're busy creating buildable figures for Spider-Man instead. Anyways, it would have been great to even get sets sort of like what they did the first time, where it was indirectly based off of Spider-Verse, or at least, they were doing Spider-Man Noir for the first time, and Spider-Ham and different things came out in sets all around that time. And here, I'm not just saying that as a joke. Like, we don't have any other Spider-Man sets. The ones they're doing are buildable characters. Like, we haven't gotten any comic book sets or anything recently, so I really don't understand that. But I think that this movie lends itself so well to sets for sure, and I think even looking forward to the next one with the new mech for Penny Parker. And I don't see us getting sets for the new one that comes out in 10 months. I'd love it. I just think that if they missed out on this, then why and how could they turn around and do sets for that? Also, Spider-Man PS4 didn't do anything there. Actively not doing anything, I believe, for the new sequel either for that. So I really don't understand it. But my friend Brody, I put this in the thumbnail, he created this really cool little ATM fight with the Spot. Really great. Small little set I think would be phenomenal. And check him out. He's actually linked down below if you want. And then I had this idea of, what if, like the new dioramas that we've seen them do for No Way Home and then Endgame, they could do something from the first film where he's fighting Kingpin, and you could have like a bunch of like the giant words and things coming out of the sides of it. Would be so cool. This really cool vertical thing on that black platform, and having different things from the different multiverses coming in. But even from this film, again, I was thinking vertically. Well, the train or whatever, the lift to the moon from Nueva York would have been so cool to see us get something like that here. As a diorama as well would be great to get. But again, it just requires Lego to actually focus and do things that people would be interested in, and not buildable characters. But anyways, what did you think of the movie? What are you looking forward to seeing in the next one? What Lego sets would you like to have seen them do from this film? Comment it all down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.